talk about why I feel Daniel Jones will break out for the New York Giants this upcoming NFL season in 2020. So Daniel Jones last season, when he got drafted by the New York Giants, was probably the most hated rookie I've ever seen in all my years watching football. I mean, this dude had so much hate. I mean, like, in the preseason, dude had a phenomenal preseason. People still like, oh, it's just preseason. It's nothing. Preseason don't mean anything. He's still garbage. He played at Duke University. Duke isn't good. Oh, we should have took Dwayne Haskins over Daniel Jones. You had ESPN taking shots at Daniel Jones. The whole entire media was just absolutely going in on Daniel Jones, saying that it was a mistake on Dave Gettleman's part and how Dave Gettleman's job should be revoked from, or how he should be fired for making such a terrible draft pick, choosing him over Dwayne Haskins. And then, Lord and behold, what happens? Daniel Jones has an impressive rookie season and a better rookie season than Dwayne Haskins. And I was telling people this last year. You see, I wasn't everybody else. I wasn't the guy saying that this was an awful pick. I thought the pick was solid. If you like a quarterback and you feel that's your guy, by all means, go ahead and draft him however high you feel you need to draft him. Trade up for it, do whatever you got to do, right? And Dave Gettleman found this guy. Daniel Jones last year, he started 12 games. He went 3-9 as a start. He had 3,027 passing yards, 24 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, completed 61.9% of his passes. He also was a lot more athletic than what a lot of people gave him credit for, right? And I told people that Daniel Jones was going to be good in the NFL because the man played at Duke. If you can win at a lowly university like Duke that's not known for being a football school, you can win in the NFL because you know how to win not having the most talent around you, right? And I feel that's what Daniel Jones was able to do last year, right? Then, now, you bring in a new coach, a new offensive coordinator, and the new offensive coordinator that they bring in happens to be probably one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, which is Jason Garrett. Now, a lot of people, if you haven't seen my video why or what to expect from Jason Garrett as the New York Giants offensive coordinator, I'm going to be linking that in like a little card up there so you can go ahead and know what to expect from Jason Garrett. But for those of you guys who don't feel like watching that video, Jason Garrett, before he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, was the best offensive coordinator, the best offensive mind in football. He won assistant coach of the year couple of years prior before he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He turned down several head coaching gigs just so he could end up becoming the full-time coach of the Dallas Cowboys prior. So, I mean, Jason Garrett was one of the best offensive minds in the NFL before he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, a lot of people don't know this because they just look at how average and how underachieving the Dallas Cowboys were under head coach Jason Garrett. But a lot of people seem to forget that before he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, this dude was an offensive mastermind. And even then, as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, he was still pretty good when it came to getting the most out of quarterbacks. I mean, you got to think, he got the most out of Tony Romo, right? He also got the most out of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was a mid-round selection. Dak Prescott wasn't a first-round pick or a highly touted quarterback. This was a quarterback who a lot of people looked at as a backup quarterback, and Jason Garrett was able to groom him into a very serviceable starter in the NFL. And also, let's go back to Kellen Moore. When Kellen Moore was the backup for the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, Kellen Moore wasn't terrible. Kellen Moore, when he came in there, he was slinging that thing now, and that was under Jason Garrett. So Jason Garrett knows how to get efficient quarterback play out of quarterbacks. And I feel for Daniel Jones, having Jason Garrett as your offensive coordinator is the best thing that can happen to him. And like I said, a lot of people aren't going to know this, but if you go back and check what Jason Garrett's reputation was back in 2008, 2007, this dude knew how to coach up an offense. He knew how to run an offense, and he knew how to call plays. So don't get him mixed up with what he did as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys mixed in with what he's going to do as an offensive coordinator. He is a great offensive coordinator. And what that means for Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones should come along very well going into year 2 of his NFL career. And I mean, on the positive side of that, you also have a better team than what you have last season, at least when it came to the offensive line. Daniel Jones was sacked 38 times. If he probably was the full starter since week 1 for the Giants last year, he probably would have got sacked almost 50 times. And he also had some turnover issues as well. But I mean, Daniel Jones is going to break out this year for the New York Giants. The offensive line is improved. They took Andrew Thomas with the fourth overall selection and this past year's NFL draft. You also got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, one of the best halfbacks in the NFL, so you're going to be able to run the football. You got Darius Slay, who ended up being the #1 target for Daniel Jones last season. You also got Evan Ingram there as well if the Giants don't end up trading him. So, I mean, this Giants offense is basically, I think it's going to be run first and then pass second. But, I mean, Daniel Jones under Jason Garrett, I really like the potential that he has, and I think he's going to end up breaking out, man. I mean, the fact that Daniel Jones had to overcome what he had to overcome, I mean, he had so much criticism to overcome, so much adversity to overcome, and he exceeded everybody's expectation. Everybody was going crazy because they picked him over Dwayne Haskins, and look what Dwayne Haskins did for the Washington Redskins. He struggled out the gate. Daniel Jones came in to the NFL. Yeah, he had his bad games, but I mean, this dude started dropping dimes, absolute dimes, man. And I mean, this dude is the first rookie I've ever seen in my whole entire lifetime to actually defeat the internet and defeat the media. You don't really see a lot of people beat the internet and beat the media because the media always has a perspective and they stick to that perspective. They never really change. And when they do change, it's not even all that much change for it. They still find ways to throw in little shots. Daniel Jones, not only did he beat the media, change the media's perspective about him, but he also beat the internet as well. So, I mean, Daniel Jones has accomplished a good bit. If he would have started week 1 for the New York Giants, he probably could have ended up beating out Kyler Murray for Offensive Rookie of the Year last year, because I felt, in all honesty, that Daniel Jones was, in my opinion, more impressive than Kyler Murray. Now, I'm not going to debate with anybody about that. That's just personal preference. But, I mean, this dude, Daniel Jones, he's going to be really good. And I mean, Jason Garrett, like I said, a lot of people think that he's a bad coach and things like that. He may not be a great head coach, but he is a great offensive coordinator. Go back and look at his accolades. Go back and look at his achievements when he was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. They had some really good, prolific passing offenses. When Jason Garrett was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I believe that they finished top 10 in passing yards and passing efficiency every single year he was the offensive coordinator. So you can expect Daniel Jones to be more efficient. You can expect him to be less turnover prone. You can expect him to be smarter with the football, and you can expect him to be groomed into a really good quarterback. At least you can expect him to be at least a top 15 quarterback as long as Jason Garrett remains the OC for the New York Giants. So, I mean, this is why I feel Daniel Jones will break out. I mean, look, I'm really excited about Daniel Jones this season, man. I mean, the two quarterbacks I'm excited about the most are Drew Lock and Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, man, just surprised a lot of people, exceeded a lot of people's expectations, and a lot of people were really surprised that he ended up being as good as he was. Because, listen, I was telling everybody, if you came from a school like Duke, playing for a school like Duke that doesn't have the best talent around you, not having that great of an offensive line and things like that, makes you a better quarterback, because you tend to get better when it comes to being more patient and things like that. So, I mean, listen, man, Daniel Jones is going to break out this season for the New York Giants. I think he's going to end up having like 33 touchdowns, probably 10 interceptions. He's going to be less fumble prone. He's going to be smarter with the football. He's going to be accurate with the football. And also, he's probably going to have a little bit more rushing yards as well, because a lot of people seem to forget that this guy's a lot more athletic than what you may think. I mean, you look at this guy, you may look at this guy as like, he's not a threat to really get a lot of big yards or anything like that. But Daniel Johnson, you give him some running lanes, he can gas you for like a 20-yard gain now. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson or anything like that, but Daniel Jones has some mobility. So under Jason Garrett's tutelage as the OC, he's going to bring the best out of Daniel Jones. And like I said, Jason Garrett has been really good when it came to grooming young quarterbacks. Even when he was the head coach, even though he wasn't that good as a head coach, he was still able to get the most out of quarterbacks that he was coaching, like Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore, and things like that. So, I mean, under Jason Garrett's tutelage, as long as he remains the OC for the New York Giants, you can expect Daniel Jones to be a better quarterback and probably one of the top 15 quarterbacks by the end of this upcoming season. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that or anything like that. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if you see Daniel Jones on the outside looking in of a top 10 quarterback next year, because under Jason Garrett, I think he's in for a really good season. So let me know what you guys think about Daniel Jones down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what are your expectations for Daniel Jones going into the 2020 NFL season. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and thanks for watching.